Vielen Dank. Was sind das eigentlich für Leute, die mir Hassbriefe schreiben, werde ich oft gefragt. Und wie viele sind es eigentlich? Das ist, seitdem ich nicht hauptberuflich als
Since I
Journalist arbeite,
am no longer working as a journalist as my main employment and I'm part-time writer, I write texts for Zeit Online, Deutschlandfunk, public broadcasters. The number has kind of decreased, but there is a lot of hatred that reaches me. And if I write a commentary on Pegida, which I did do, then I might get 1,000 emails a day, and maybe between 10 and 50 murder threats. So it's quite massive what reaches me. But what I have to say is that lately, in the last few months and weeks, the number of friendly letters has increased too. People that tell me nice things simply because I mention the fact that friendly messages reach me. I didn't want to write this book. That was actually just a promise I gave myself in 2016 that I would write back to these people. The message was I should take the worries of people seriously, so I thought, okay, I'll answer. And I started in February 2016, and I did answer everyone, really. And from 854 dialogues that were kind of worth putting into writing, I chose 52 for this book. The idea for the book, though, came later. So what are these guys? I can't really say. I'm not a scientist. I can only speak from the perspective of an author, from my experience, and can say that there are 3 different groups that write hatred messages and murder threats and angry messages. And one of these, the largest perhaps, is people that are simply frustrated about something they have experienced privately or in their job. They may have lost their job, they may have problems at home, problems with their partners, with their children. They maybe simply received a parking ticket. I received a real angry walloping from someone who just wrote, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had a bad day. I received a ticket for 70 euros for wrong parking. I do apologize." I do accept this then, although I didn't become a journalist to listen to shit like this, but these people should go to a therapist and talk to their families, but not use me. So that's the first group, people who are frustrated. And I read one example of someone who wrote to me, and that is Peter S., who wrote to me at 7 a.m. in the morning. "People like you should be sent to the gas chambers in Germany. Go back to your camel fuckers. Muslim vermin do not belong in Germany. Islam is not a part of Germany. It should be destroyed and wiped out in this country." Now, that is someone who I would normally not respond to. I would wonder whether to give a police report, but that would take away all my time. I would be busy doing nothing but filing police reports. So I would simply file this as complete idiots. But my project was that I would respond to everyone. So my resolution, I respond, "Dear Mr. S., thank you for your letter and your interest in me as a person. Is it common for you to express criticism in this manner? Best regards, Hasnain Kazim." So he writes back at 5. Sorry, one day passed, maybe he's kind of sobered. "Sorry, I didn't know anyone reads these emails. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't have a clear head when I wrote that. Really sorry. So how do I deal with this then?" So someone apologized, but if I'm to be honest, go back to your camel fuckers, people should be sent to the gas chambers. No, that is not on. I am against violence, but this guy really needs a clipping behind the ears. It really isn't right to write something like that. But the only thing I can say is just to file it as past. And then there is this second group that is similarly large, and these are people that actually have criticism on the content of my work, or don't agree with what I write, or that have a problem with the core topic that I write about, migration politics, the way people that can't really cope with the way we speak these days, who have an opinion on Ukraine that is different from the mainstream. And of course, I can understand everyone who lives somewhere large or small, in whatever place where a refugee home is built and 100 people maybe move in. I can understand everyone who then says, I'm not really comfortable with this. They talk a language I don't understand. They look strange, they wear strange clothing, they stare at me if I'm out on the street, and when I talk to them, they would not look at me in the eye, so I'm not comfortable. The food they eat looks strange. I can't really deal with that. That's okay. In a free society, you can say this. So you would then say, get together, talk, maybe you'll get along, and maybe not. In a democracy, yes, you have to be able to face that. Some differences will not be overcome. But that's not what the people write. Well, many don't. They write, just shoot all these people at the border. Drown them, drown them. They say that into a camera. You can see that. People say that. Drown them, drown them. Or from the rubber boats back into the Mediterranean on a rubber boat, maybe put a hole in that boat. These are extracts from letters I received. And again, I am in a role here that I don't want to be at. First is the kind of escape valve. Now I'm an educator, where I have to say, yes, Mr. Miller, yes, Mrs. Schmidt, that is not the way we speak about people, or is it? So where is the point in life where you missed a turn? How did you not learn, where did you not learn that you don't talk about people in this way? You have to put it in a different way. And many people then say, yes, you are right, I cannot express myself as eloquently as you do, but at least you are in a kind of conversation then. There is a kind of meeting. And then people say, I am not going to be taught or educated. I am a grown-up. But sometimes these adults do need to be taught. That doesn't always make me friends, but that's okay. And then there are people you can't reach. That's the second largest group there. And the third group is hopefully small. These are the ones that I most worry about. These are not just any kind of disadvantaged or completely decoupled people from the terms in terms of economics or society. No, this is a group that is from those that are left behind up to people that are very well educated, economically well endowed, and that is the group of the true racists. The kind of people that say under all circumstances that a person like me does not belong here, that I will never become a true German, and that I can never really participate, or I shouldn't. These people exist, and it's very hard to reach these people. So that is one of these groups where I believe that it simply isn't worth it to deal with that, or at least I don't know how. An example from this third group. This is a man who, giving his full name and address and title, writes to me and actually adds that he is a fully qualified lawyer. So I searched for his name. This is someone who's still teaching at a university as a law professor, and he massively got enraged about a text where I wrote about being German at Spiegel Online, the magazine, the German news magazine, in 2016. And he was massively enraged about me daring to claim a German identity. So he wrote an email to me trying to disprove that I could be a German. And he wrote that in very eloquent legal German, and it was very hard for me to understand and answer, and it's very hard for me to read. So I printed it out, because on paper I could read it better, and it was 20 pages. So I really took a lot of trouble to read this. I'm not going to give you the full extent of the letter, but the last paragraph says, you know, Mr. Kazim, a rat that was born in a horse stable will always be a rat. You will never be a horse, no matter how much you believe and emphasize it. You understand this, right? A rat will always stay a rat. Even if I am born in a horse stable named Germany, I could never imagine to become a horse or be a horse. So that is an email where I really don't know, where do I start? what went wrong in this person's brain and what lever can I pull to make this person realize that it's not right? But my project, of course, is that I respond to everyone. So 20 days later, I answered, "Dear Mr. Doctor, thank you for your extensive letter. You know, Mr. Doctor, some people can strive for titles and academic honors and even write under the title fully qualified lawyer. They always be complete idiots. Best regards, Hasnain Kazim, nuclear power." That might be strange to your ears, but the feeling that I was left with was a kind of cluelessness. How should I deal with this? How can I make this person understand? How can I respond? I couldn't answer at the legal level. I'm not a legal expert, so the only thing left to me was to respond in this kind of helpless way. And I have to admit that in this whole situation, I became kind of irrational. I'm trying to be neutral, use arguments, and make clear how things are. I am not a Muslim. I have Muslim roots. I was given a Protestant upbringing in a place in North Germany. I was actually the dark one of the three kings in the nativity play. So that's what I did. And at the age of 18, I left the church because I realized that that would be the best thing. I'm not an atheist. I'm a classic cherry picker. I get the best out of everything and construct my own religion. I meet very pious people who believe that they live the best way they can, but it's always me who has to answer about Islam. I would be invited to every kind of debate about Islam, whatever, whether it's incision. I have actually ready-made text blocks because it's always the same. And there are these absurd situations that I get into that I have to explain the burqa to someone, and I don't want to defend the burqa in any way at all because I don't like it. But you don't have to fight Islamism in Saxony, but in Afghanistan, because that is where there is a problem with the Taliban. So I repeat over and over again, I explain, but I can also be irrational simply because sometimes it's fun. Marcus S., a fan of Pegida, the anti-Islamist movement. Hey, Mr. Kazim, I see your agitation against Pegida. These are steadfast Democrats who will not be silenced. Get that into your skull already. You are an immigrated guest in our country, and you'd better be thankful that you were allowed into Germany. So another of the kinds of email that I wouldn't respond to. Completely stupid, but my project is to respond to everyone, so at the same time I respond, "Hello, Mr. S. Thank you for your interest in my work and my committed advocacy for more democracy. I really appreciate that. I just have a small comment regarding the thankfulness that you demand from me. Not I have to be thankful to you. On the contrary, you, as a citizen of Dresden, should be thankful to me, because I have been a citizen of the Federal Republic of Germany for far longer than you. We welcomed you with open arms, accepted you as Germans, and kindly paid money for you, the solidarity tax, for years. To be precise, we are still paying. Warm regards, Hasnain Kazim." That is terribly unfair of me, right? I know that. How does this poor person, how can he be responsible for having grown up in Dresden? I know it's mean, but I did know this guy is now burning inside and he's getting into a fit. And yes, the plan worked. He responds, "You are a foreigner who ought to keep his mouth shut in Germany. You are not only agitating against Pegida, but against all East Germans. Your email is proof. I will sue you for instigation and sedition. You will see what comes of that." I answer the same day, "Dear Mr. S., thank you for your friendly criticism. I am grateful for your preemptive announcement of your coming lawsuit. I've already forwarded it to my army of lawyers. 17 in total. You've got to treat yourself once in a while after all. Since I'm quite busy and do not want to waste my time in court because of things like this, especially not in Dresden, my lawyers will be present in my stead and deal with this. What I forgot to write about thankfulness, P.S., I also wanted to remind you that you took away and ate all our bananas at Aldi back in the day, and we never said anything. Don't forget about that, okay? And he never answered after that. And I don't think he filed a report about me, at least I never heard about anything like that. So again, I do not want to be a role model. If you respond to people like that, I think that is not a good way to respond. So it's not a good way of responding, but it's a lot of fun, as I said. But if you deal with these people on a permanent basis, then I do claim the right to act this way, because humor, for me, is the way to kind of reduce it to a measure that makes you able to deal with this shit. There is nothing to be laughed about here. You have to bear it, and you have to suffer it, and that's why I do it. Thank you for your interest, and I heard that I'd be given an opportunity to do a book signing. I even brought my stamp along. So thank you for your attention. Have a nice Republika. Enjoy your day. Thank you. Hasnain Kazim, huge applause.